Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys a recap on a new episode of Fate Grand Order Zettai Maju Sensen Babylonia, or you could call it Fate Grand Order Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia on episode 8. This episode right here shows a lot of action and some scenes that's pretty darn... Depending if you are into the series or not, or if you're a Fate Grand Order player, it was pretty emotional in my case, is my opinion. But if anything else, let's get this started. We have to it that Fujimaru continues his fight against the Avenger class servant, but apparently struggles to do so. Ushiwaka shows up to help out Fujimaru and tells him to run. Although Fujimaru is reluctant to do so, Ushiwaka tells him otherwise to keep going and don't die in vain, and eventually he retreats back to the northern wall. We see to it that Ushiwaka continues her strength and speed to her advantage to try to get a hit on the Avenger class servant, but apparently because of how strong this servant is, it's almost impossible to take her out. I mean, the way how it is shown. Eventually, the Avenger class servant shows up in the northern wall and actually has Ushiwaka at her hands or grips of her teeth, and throws her down and clashes against the other people. And Leonidas shows up himself and uses his noble phantasm of Thermopylae and ends up having to actually do damage to the Avenger class servant. And we get to know what her real name is, which I've been doing a lot of self-control not to reveal her name yet until that moment was shown up. And her real name is Gorgon. Yes, Gorgon. You'd be surprised. And we have to it that Gorgon ends up being shocked of seeing how Leonidas was able to actually do some damage to her, actually using his spear to make a hole in her abdomen, or should I say around her stomach area, you know? And eventually we have to it that Leonidas having to crumble to dust due to Gorgon's mystic eyes of petrification here and there. We see to it that Ushiwaka decides to use her noble phantasm too, which we all know very well of. I mean, if you guys are Fate Grand Order players or etc., you guys should already know what her noble phantasm is, which I go, oh my gosh, I was a big fan of seeing that scene, you know? But it did not seem to do any effect on Gorgon eventually, and she was about to make her final attack, but Enkidu decides to tell Gorgon otherwise by saying, we destroy this fortress right now, we will be in threat of the other goddesses. If we fight them what we are now after destroying Uruk, we will be in danger. So pretty much Enkidu tells his mother to retreat right now, because how am I supposed to say it? If they destroy Uruk now, the other two goddesses will actually will pose a threat to them due to the fact that their army will not be enough, not to mention the beast that they have that's about to hatch is not ready yet. And of course, eventually she ends up retreating, and we get to see Enkidu's real name, and his name is Kingu, which apparently is an offspring to Tiamat whatsoever in the Babylonian mythology, if anything. And we see to it that Enkidu gives some mocking advice and tells Mitsuka, don't worry, I'll be the one to replace you guys eventually in your history, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. Eventually, we also lose another ally, but not because he did not die literally, but he ends up having to give up. He says the reason why he's giving up is because he let Ushiwaka die once more, and we get to know a little history about him, of how it's just repeating itself again. He just gave up, and he apologizes for not meeting up to Gilgamesh's expectations at all. Eventually, though, Mitsuka, even though many are in despair, losing Leonidas and Ushiwaka, we have to it that Mitsuka decides to build up some bricks as he was told by Leonidas, and decides not to give up yet, which is a good thing. I mean, sure, at times like this, after losing some allies, you'd be in despair and you're not going to be enjoying anything like this at all, you know? But, as usual, you got to keep moving forward and don't give up yet, you know? But there's one thing that was not shown in this that was not known to them, which is something that I never expected them to do, which I expected it to happen, but not towards the end of the episode, is that Ushiwaka is actually still alive. But, you know, after running her mouth with Enkidu, or Kingu, if anything, she ends up having to, like, insult him many ways, to one of, like, thinking, oh, you're just an amateur at warfare, you don't understand things at all, you being a successor to humanity, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh, dude. I just love her mouth, the way how she's really resilient, you know? But because of that, Enkidu decides to not turn her into an egg, and we're gonna put you into something called the mud of the Holy Grail. Which I'm pretty sure if you guys are freaking Fate lovers, or freaking, like, whatchamacallit, Fate series about the Holy Grail here and there, you should already know what that mud of the Holy Grail really is. And guarantee, I'm pretty sure you guys might be asking me what happens next. I ain't telling you that. Those of you guys who are Fate Grand Order players should already know where we're at right now, if you're up to date with everything. Yeah. Oh man, this is just, oh my gosh. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha people. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot.